Hi Capricorn, welcome to your May 2021 Astrological Forecast. I'd like to remind you to subscribe to my channel, check out my Ask Me a Question, and there's also a link to my website if you would like to have your personal chart done. They're both listed in the description below this video, and check out my weekly forecast. So the month starts off with the sun in Taurus up until the 19th, a fellow earth sign, where you have Taurus in your chart as your 5th house. There's also a new moon here on the 11th. So the 5th house, I've mentioned how many times, okay, is the house of romance and creativity and fun and speculation, sports, games, you know, all kinds of stuff, amusements of any kind. Okay, the planet Uranus is transiting here, has already been here for a few years and is still going to be here for a few more. So this area of your life has had like a little bit of unpredictability about it. Okay, so if you are involved with anyone romantically, they may be a little bit different than what you're normally used to. They're a little bit more interesting or more exciting or whatever. Or what you do for fun anymore is different than what you normally did in the past. You're interested in anything kind of new. You know, if you are a creative person, your whatever you do has taken on a whole new aspect to it. It's very different than what you have done in the past. And the same thing goes for like your romances. You could be attracted to someone younger or older than you, okay? This is also, I don't like to say the time that you could possibly be having an affair, but I do have to mention it, okay? So anyways, that new moon around the 11th brings a new beginning in this area of your life. So if you were just dating someone, let's say, maybe this is when you guys make it, you know, definite or exclusive. You're not going to see anyone else. If you are involved in anything creative, this is when you have like that finishing touch to it. You know, it moves forward. It's completed even and ready, you know, to be displayed or used or whatever that you've created this thing for. This is also the house of children though too. So if you have children, this could be some kind of new beginning with them even. Maybe they're even starting like a new sport or a new game or something or other, okay? If you don't have children, it could be someone else's children even. But all kinds of possibilities here. But this sun actually moves into Gemini on the 20th. And the month really starts off with, like Mercury is in Gemini from the 3rd on, and the 8th, Venus moves into Gemini. Okay, before then, these two planets are still in your 5th house, but only just like the first week or a few days, you know, you still have Venus there in your 5th house of romance, so it kind of helps you along. But they move into your 6th house where you have the sign of Gemini. Your 6th house is the kind of work that you do, the workplace, your co-workers, the actual building that you work in. It's your schedule at work, but it's also your daily schedule in your life. It's your house of health and your house of service, okay? There's like a full moon lunar eclipse in the sign of Sagittarius. Where you have Sagittarius is your 12th house. Okay, this occurs on the 26th. Okay, your 12th house is directly across from your 6th house. So as far as the workplace goes, you could possibly find out, like the 12th house is the house of secrets and hidden matters. Okay, it's actions taken behind the scenes by you or someone else even. But you could learn something about a coworker or your company or your boss or something like that, or about your job, you know, that you're not possibly supposed to know, you know, and who knows how you learn about it, but it might be pretty good information for you to know, even though it might be a little bit upsetting at this time, because it's it seems like it's a secret, like no one is supposed to know about it. So you could be finding out something about your company, something that they're possibly planning on doing that doesn't really affect you all that well. Okay, you're not happy with it. Or, you know, the house of service, you know, this is, you don't have a lot going on here just now because planets are there, but you don't have like an outer planet transiting here, so this house kind of takes care of itself. But if you were, this is what I call the house of favors, because what usually happens is someone needs you to do something for them. They need your help. But you also need help in some way or other. So you like trade off. Okay, it's a 50-50 thing and you both benefit. So you could do something right now. You could reach an agreement with someone that you'll help them. You know, could possibly be a family member, but right now it looks like it could more than likely be a neighbor, sibling, something like that. And it could work out for both of you. But when these planets leave here, you're done. Or at least in your mind, you are. So it's not an ongoing thing, even though maybe this other person may think that it is. So they'll know soon enough, though, that that was it. You're done. So as far as your health goes, this would only like be the time where you would have a checkup or something like that. It doesn't mean that there's anything up with your health. It just means that this is the time that you turn your attention to it. Okay, so you might like start eating better or exercising or something or other, but that kind of it might have happened when Mars was here in Gemini. You know, we're all gung-ho about being all healthy and all that, and then when all of these planets move out of this area of Gemini, okay, you're like, you know, who knows if you'll keep it up. You might and you might not. But Mars is in Cancer right now. Where you have Cancer in your chart is your 7th house of close relationships with a close friend, a romantic partner, or a business partner. And Cancer is your opposite sign. And when planets... Well, when Mars, okay, is in your 7th house, it usually makes these people, okay, the 7th house people, be very aggressive towards you. They kind of come at you. When Mars is in your opposite sign, though, it seems like everybody seems to be a little bit too pushy towards you or aggressive. This is also the house of open enemies, meaning that it's just somebody you don't get along with. And it's known, it's well known, so that's why it's called open enemies. It's not a secret enemy, it's an open enemy. So they could start pushing your buttons at this time also. But in business, this can be a competitor coming at you, like trying to steal your business or anything that you have going for you in that area. They could be very competitive with you right now. But as far as romance goes, it could be somebody trying to control you more or less, or control the relationship, simply for the fact that you still have Pluto in your 1st house in Capricorn, right? And it turned retrograde at the end of April. So it's retracing its steps. It's reviewing whatever. And this is all going on in your 1st house of your personality. So you may be rethinking your whole partnership thing with whomever it is, you know, romantic, business, whatever, especially when they seem to be a little bit too pushy for you or want far more control within the relationship than they should have. You know, having Pluto in your 1st house does make you a lot more intense, a lot more... pushy yourself, you know, wanting things done your way, you know, being all powerful and all this stuff, you know. So maybe you're at like a battle of the wits even with somebody right now who is trying to call your bluff or whatever, you know. But it could be not too powerful people dealing with one another, just someone, you know, coming at you a little bit more aggressive than they normally would. Okay. The planet Saturn is in Aquarius, where you have Aquarius in your chart as your 2nd house, and it also turns retrograde on the 23rd. So Aquarius in your second house and Saturn in your second house with Jupiter. Okay, but Jupiter is going to be moving. Jupiter is in Aquarius at the beginning of the month, but on the 13th it moves into Pisces very briefly. Okay, but with these two planets here, you know, your second house is how you earn your money. It's income. It's your valuables, things that you own that are valuable. It's your own personal values. With Saturn here, it's really making you rethink your self-worth. Jupiter here was helping you to do a lot of things, but a lot of times you, with Saturn here, you realize that you're not being treated as well as you should be. Okay, or people don't respect you, or they take you for granted, and whatever, you know, you have like a little bit of an awakening here with Jupiter coming along and saying, why are you letting people treat you this way? Everybody's so used to you being they're a rock, you know, you're the solid one. You're the one to go to that, you know, that whatever. You're like the solid person in your group of friends or even family. So, you know, now you're learning that, you know, you should be have been treated. You should have been treated all along well, but maybe you haven't. So this is helping you in a way, because you're doing away with people that don't treat you well, or don't respect you in some way or other. You know, and a lot of times this is family, because family, you're related to them. I'm not talking about your immediate family either. I'm talking about like your cousins, your aunts and uncles and stuff like that. They've known you since birth, so they just continue to treat you whatever way they want to. They still act like you're a small kid when you're an adult. Okay, so this could be one of those things where you're realizing, like, God, what is it with these people? You know, you got to get rid of them. So when Jupiter, though, moves into Pisces, okay, Pisces you have on your third house of your everyday life, your neighborhood. It's your siblings and your cousins, though, also. But wherever Jupiter is brings expansion and opportunity, but also good luck. So like Jupiter will be briefly in Pisces from May 13th to July 28th, and then it will move back into Aquarius and your second house, and in direct motion all the way up until December, and then at the end of December it moves into Pisces for its transit in Pisces for next year. Okay, so Jupiter will be going back into your second house. When Saturn is in your second house by itself, though, there may be a halt or drying up of income, or money that was coming in. It kind of stops, or whatever, something with finances. In fact, when it could be the exact opposite, though. Something that was due you might come finally with Saturn being retrograde. But the fact that Saturn will be here by itself just for that short period of time just kind of means that your income in some way like shrivels a little bit or shrinks. Okay, so with Jupiter and Neptune in your third house, okay, of Pisces, because Neptune is in Pisces, right? These two planets together bring about very dreamy like qualities. They're very spiritual planets. If you were to write something, a story even, it would be like a really good fantasy kind of story. I'm talking about on the level of like The Hobbit and all the trilogies and all that after that, and or some kind of science fiction, or something really beautiful, you know. And if it's not a story or something, you could write a speech even, an article, anything that you write is very uplifting. You know, whomever reads it, like, has something to take away from it that I don't know, opens their mind in some way, or their heart even. But it's very very spiritual, perhaps religious even. So you know, that's just something to consider. It's very brief and in very low degrees of Pisces. Just for that short period of time, it'll give you an idea, though, of what to expect whenever this planet moves here fully at the end of December into next year. Okay, so let me see here. Okay, well, the best time to do something each month is when the moon is in your own sign, and the moon is in Capricorn on the 1st, 2nd, 28th, and 29th. The best time to lay low is when the moon is in your opposite sign, and your opposite sign is Cancer. And those dates are the 15th, 16th, and 17th. The best time for romance, recreation, creativity, fun, any kind of gambling or speculation, and anything to do with children is the 9th, 10th, 11th, 12th, 24th, and 25th. The best time for money is the 2nd, 3rd, 4th, 17th, 18th, 19th, 30th, and 31st. The best time for your career is the 22nd and 23rd. And the best time for communication and travel is the 5th, 6th, 7th, 19th, 20th, and 21st. So I hope you enjoyed your astrological forecast for May. Please subscribe to my channel. Check out my weekly forecast, and I'll see you then. Goodbye.